Our next reader, Blair Glaser, has shared with me a word that I have never heard before, and I don't think I'm going to be the same. So Blair Glaser recently changed the order of her Twitter bio, putting the word writer ahead of consultant. Awesome. But then she writes, she lives in Woodstock with her husband and their dog-ter, Vanna White. Blair Glaser.
British Airways is having a sale, my best friend said. We can go to Paris in April for $300 round trip. Even in 1998, that was cheap, but it seemed impossible. I'd have to alert the 8 jobs I'd cobbled together to put myself through grad school, finish 3 papers, and use a credit card. Whatever, my friend said. Maybe you can use your women's intuition to figure it out. She was teasing, but I'd never been to Europe, and my intuition said, it's about time. And it lived up to the hype. At the end of a rapturous day, sipping café au lait and strolling down the Champs-Élysées in full bloom, we wound up at a party where a guest was making mini pancakes with creme fraiche and caviar, and champagne was served, and a gorgeous French actor introduced himself in English. I was wearing sneakers. I overheard the actor use the word shamanisme in conversation, and I shimmied over. Did you say shamanism? Yes, we're talking about Carl Jung and the wheel of life. And then he smiled at me, really smiled. And he left the party to get us all a fabulous new dessert. And when he came back with a pint of imported Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia, I simply oohed and ahed while we made eyes at each other. He asked me how long I'd be staying in Paris. 8 days. 8 jours. And when he said it, I could see in his eyes all the things he planned to do with me. He took me to a cheesy, touristy Italian restaurant. I was so excited, I hardly realized it was odd, and seduced me with psychological insight. European men are so fucked up because their grandfathers died in the war, so their fathers were raised by grieving, lonely, overwhelmed women. He led me out into the misty twilight and kissed me on the cobblestone. I was living in a postcard. I thanked my women's intuition. My best friend did not. The next day, he drove me around the Marais on his scooter, bump, bump, bump over the cobblestone, by the ladies of the night in the shop windows with the hanging taxidermied rats, then off to an American film in which several artistic characters living in New Jersey ironically wore I Heart NJ t-shirts. I'm the only one in the theater who gets it, and it causes hip Parisians to turn their heads and sneer. Afterwards, his flip phone lights up with 4 messages from his girlfriend. In his thick Parisian accent, he exclaims, "Ah, women's intuition, I ate that."